When it comes to Montenegro, we are really in the final phase. We are the front runner, and now we are speaking technically, looking at the whole process on the closing of the chapters. Still, this process is not only the technical one. This is also, it has their political level and always the communication with the member states, but not also the member states when we are speaking also with the European Commission as well. Yes, this is really a slow process if you see it by the years that Montenegro is negotiating with Brussels, and it's almost, well, more than 12 years that we are negotiating, and there were a lot of ups and downs, to say so. At this moment, I wouldn't say that dynamic is slow. I would say that we really have one speed that is very good, not only for the Montenegro, but for the whole enlargement process. But still, there is a lot of challenges that we are facing at this moment, and a lot of explaining, not only to the European Commission, but to the member states as well. Some of the fields where we can see that there are a lot of explanation, a lot of challenges is the most important one, the rule of law, especially when we are speaking about against the corruption struggles, when we are speaking about also the rule of law, judiciary, when we are speaking about public administration, where we see that we don't have enough experts and where we don't have a strong system that can be, how to say, very competitive when it comes to the member states at this moment. So what me as a Minister of European Affairs and the whole government are working now is to build a system, not just because of the form and ticking the box while we are on this technical part of the closing of the chapters, but to build a system that is which is going to work. To build a system who is going tomorrow to help us so we can be a strong country with a very strong administration and with a strong rule of law, where as new member state, where our main goal is to become by the end of 2028. I will be very honest, we expect all. We expect a lot from the Berlin process, and not only from the Berlin process, but also looking much wider when it comes to geopolitical situation. We don't need protection in that way from the EU, Brussels, Berlin, or Paris, or Rome. We need a strong signal, political signal, that the enlargement is live. We need not only the economic growth. We are not, as a countries, and now I'm speaking in front of Montenegro, we are not here only because of the finance, because we are not doing this because of the money. This is not something that is making us to the progress. Everything that we are doing, yes, this economic are very important because of our citizens, but we are doing this because we belong in the EU, and this is something that is motivating the whole government, the parliament, and all our citizens, because 80% of our citizens are for the Montenegro to join the EU, and this is obligation for us. The expectations from the Berlin process are really high, I must tell, and from year to year we see that these expectations are much higher, especially having in mind this current situation that is happening globally, and we really need this strong signal that is coming from Berlin, that is coming from Brussels, that enlargement is going to be the focus, because if it's not the focus, then we can, I'm not speaking now at Montenegro because we are in the final stage, but the countries may lose an interest in the whole enlargement, and to see if still there is something that is happening behind the scenes, that there is something that is much higher priority than the enlargement at this moment. I think that then we can lose the unity in the European Union as well. So at this moment, yes, the economic is very important, but not the first thing. The political will for all the candidate countries must be much on the higher level and much stronger. So in that way, I'm certain that it can be very, very helpful for us. But I must tell you that also when it comes to this regional cooperation, because also I must look that the Berlin process is not looking at each candidate country, but the whole Western Balkan countries as well. There is also the growth plan, which is the product of the European Commission as idea and instrument, who is going to help us also when it comes to regional cooperation and this gradually integration into the EU, where I can see also that motivated all the Western Balkan countries to be more proactive when it comes to the accession negotiations, even the fact that this is a divided process.
You emphasize that it's not only about economy. So in this context, do you see any external influence that is bad for Montenegro? We know very well what is happening still to this day in Ukraine, and the Russian influence in the whole region, not only in the Western Balkans, but the Balkans as a whole.
Well, if you are speaking about that, how to say, from the third parties influence, I must tell you that none country is immune on that. I'm not speaking about the Western Balkan countries. I'm speaking about the whole world. And with every step closer to the EU, those influences can be stronger. At this moment, this is why I mentioned rule of law, why it is very important. This is why it is important to media to have the stronger laws for them. This is why it is very important that the security cyber center for the whole region is in Montenegro, where we are strengthening our capacities also when it comes to the cyber attacks and those kind of hybrid threats that the whole world is dealing. At this moment, I must be very open. Those attacks are very on the low level, but still, whenever we have some political campaigns, they are visible. Whenever we have some good IGC that is very successful in the Brussels, then we have some, how to say, from the media and from some third parties from outside, some impacts that are coming to our citizens. EU doesn't want you. We don't want those kind of messages. That's why we are very dedicated. That's why we are working very hard on our EU agenda. And I'm certain once we are in the EU, then we are going to be fully protected as a member state. But at this moment, we are still struggling. This is happening, especially maybe much more in the region than in itself in Montenegro. But still, we are now making the system that is going to work and that is going to protect not only us with this cybersecurity center, but also the whole region and the EU as well. We are not seeing this as only a form. We are seeing this problem much deeper, and we are every day is really, really hard working on the strengthening the rule of law area, not only when it comes to the judiciary, the state prosecutor, when it comes to the Ministry of Justice, when it comes to the whole system, which needs to be very, very strong, so we have the strong country itself. The most important thing for us was the last year when it comes to the first phase, and in the first 100 days, we really unblocked the whole judiciary. And that was the first signal to all our partners, not only outside Montenegro, but also to our citizens, that the fight against the corruption, that fight for the rule of law in Montenegro just started. After that, we received the IBAR, and we had like 9 laws voted in the parliament and a couple of strategies as well that are going to strengthen and to make this first phase, so we have the good basic for everything that is now on the table, and the judiciary is working very hard. The hardest thing is the implementation, the track record where we stand at this moment. All eyes are on the judiciary, not that much on the government, because we already provided them the basic things, so now they can deliver what is needed, not just because of the European Union, but because of Montenegrin citizens. And we as a government, we are going to give whatever is needed, so we provide them the best results and the best conditions, so they can work very hard and to finally see the results. We are aware that we cannot enter the EU if we don't finish everything that is needed for the rule of law, but also it is something that we are doing for our citizens, like main goal, not just because of the form, like I said, but because of the things that it's really a must and a need for our society.